Hey there, Jim Kitty here. Hey, I'm on the road, but I just wanted to turn on my dash cam and have a quick conversation about something that's bugging me here in the last few days, related to the Trump Hillary controversy that has recently surfaced, related to the fact that Donald Trump apparently has not paid any federal income taxes for X number of years. And I wanted to, I really wanted to talk to the people that believe that that is a negative for Donald Trump. And Jim Kitty does not think that that's a problem, and I want to explain to you why it's not a problem. So hopefully, if you have some patience with me and let me go through a scenario, I think I'll be able to convince you that that in fact is not a problem. Whether it's true or not, I can't really talk about that. But regardless of whether it's true or not, it certainly should not be an issue in the campaign. And the Democratic Party and the Hillary Clinton camp seem to want to make it a big deal at this point, and they'll be driving this issue home with as many people as they can over the next few weeks. And I just wanted to weigh in on this subject and tell you what I think about this particular issue. So first thing I want to do is I want to give you an analogy. I want to set up a situation where you personally were involved with a business activity. Let's say that 5 years ago or 7 years ago, you got involved with investing in a business idea. Someone came to you and said, "Hey, I have a great idea for a new business, and it's kind of irrelevant what that business is, but let's say it's a new restaurant or a new product that you're going to develop and market." So the actual business idea is not really relevant. The thing that I want to suggest to you is that at that point, when you were presented with that particular business idea, you determined that in order to launch that business, it would cost you, let's just pick a number, and let's say it was going to cost you $100,000. So you would have to invest $100,000 to launch this new business idea that you're going to get involved with. And it's really not that relevant in whether you had that $100,000 sitting in the bank or that you had to go to the bank and get a loan for the $100,000. That's not really a relevant part of the conversation. So pretend either way. Let's pretend like you had the $100,000 in savings, and you decided, okay, I'm going to plunk down the entire $100,000 into this business idea. So going with that premise, let's pretend like you did this 7 years ago, and over a period of a year or two, the business idea completely failed. The restaurant went out of business, or whatever the business idea was, totally failed, and you lost your entire investment. You lost every dime. So all $100,000 is gone. There's no way to get it back. So what our tax code provides everyone with the ability of doing is to amortize your losses over the next I'm not sure if it's 10 years or the next 15 years or what the period of time is. It may depend on the amount of the loss. I'm not really familiar with the details on that. But the IRS basically has established a code that allows all taxpayers to take a business loss, but they have to amortize it over a period of years going forward. So if that happened to you, or if that happened to Jim Kitty, and you had lost all $100,000, the question is, would you in fact take that legal deduction over the next 10 years that the IRS is providing you to do? So, and I think the honest answer, Jim Kitty's honest answer, is absolutely, I would take that deduction. If I lost all $100,000, I will in fact take my legal deductions over the period that I'm allowed based on the IRS code. And I think if you honestly were evaluating this situation from a personal perspective, I think you would also come to the conclusion that you would also take your legal deduction that the IRS allows you to take based on the fact that you lost all $100,000. So you would do it just as well as every other citizen or every other taxpayer would do, is you would take your allowable deductions. So that's exactly what apparently has happened with Donald Trump. So back in the 90s, he lost a couple of his casinos went bankrupt, and he needed to either close them or sell them to creditors or whatever happened to it. But the bottom line is he lost millions of dollars as a result of those casinos failing. So as a result of that, he then is allowed to take that loss as a deduction in future years. That is apparently exactly what has happened. So I think when you look at it from that perspective, you cannot argue that he's not paying the taxes that he should be paying. Now, the Clinton campaign doesn't want to focus on the actual facts, and they simply want to drive home, oh, Donald Trump doesn't pay any taxes, and he expects you to pay taxes, but he doesn't. So you just have to make sure that you evaluate these kind of charges and put it into perspective so that you don't get carried away and caught up with the media hype that comes along with each of these issues. And the question, a related question, is the Clinton campaign focuses on, well, Donald Trump's not releasing his tax returns, rather. So, and of course, Donald Trump's excuse for not releasing his tax returns is that he's currently undergoing IRS audits for those tax returns, and he says that he would release them if he was not undergoing an audit. Well, truth be told, he still could release his tax returns if he wanted to, even though he's being audited. But the reality is, the media would spin the fact that let's say that he really did not pay any taxes for a 8-10 year period as a result of the big losses that he took in the 90s. So let's assume that is correct and factual. What do you think the media would do with that fact? I mean, they would spin it to the point where that would be the top story going into the general election is Donald Trump hasn't paid any taxes for 10 years and he expects you to. So I totally understand, and if I were in Donald Trump's shoes, given the facts that, at least the facts that we can assume to be true at this point, I wouldn't release my tax returns either, because the media would really only tell you the side that they want to tell you in relation to getting you to be convinced that Donald Trump doesn't pay taxes, but he expects you to. They won't tell you the full story. The other thing to keep in mind when you talk about taxes for Donald Trump as compared to taxes paid by Hillary Clinton, don't ever lose sight of the fact that Donald Trump and his businesses employ tens of thousands of people. I'm not sure exactly how many people he employs, but let's say that the number is 20,000 people. So as a result of all of the businesses that he owns and has built, all of the business complexes and resorts and things of that nature that the Trump organization owns, they employ 20,000 people. So all of those 20,000 people are paying into the tax system with local, state, and IRS taxes. So if the Trump organization did not exist, we would have 20,000 less taxpayers. So when you compare his situation to the Hillary Clinton situation as related to taxes, Hillary Clinton hasn't ever hired one person in her life. So her impact on the tax system is truly just a drop in the bucket as compared to the impact of 20,000 people being gainfully employed and paying their taxes. So always keep these things in perspective, and to the best of your ability, try to ignore the media and ignore the campaigns, because they spin it to the point where everything they talk about, they'll only give you a small piece of the information, and it's the piece that will attempt to make you vote for the candidate that they want you to vote for. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. The election is just about a month away, so do your due diligence and vote your conscience. And I sure hope that you agree with me that Donald Trump is far and away the better choice in this particular election. And as I've said in other videos that I've made and that are available on my YouTube channel, I'm not the biggest fan of Donald Trump. I definitely think that he's got some baggage and some negatives. But when you compare his negatives to Hillary Clinton's negatives, it's kind of like a no-brainer from my perspective. It's night and day. So the best choice is, in fact, Donald Trump. And take a close look at the VPs that are involved also. And I think Governor Pence is head and shoulders the better vice president, and I truly believe that someday in the future Governor Pence will be the president of the United States. I'm not sure if it'll be in 4 years or 8 years, but he is certainly the number one person from my perspective that would be a perfect solution for becoming president. So, well, thanks for your time. I appreciate you being with me. And again, check out my other videos on my YouTube channel, the Jim Kitty YouTube channel. And you can also find me in Amazon Video Direct. So have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.